You're listening to the Comic Crusaders Podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more. Wepa, what up, mi gente? Saludos. What's poppin'? I'm your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders Undercover Capes, and welcome to a brand new Comic Crusaders podcast, number 101. Wow, 101 podcasts, and today I got an awesome independent filmmaker. I mean, he's a filmmaker. He's a producer, cinematographer, editor, director. He's worked in the video production business for over 10 years. You've seen his stuff, but he got an awesome new project that's traveling the circuit named The Alternate. Pretty awesome stuff. Very happy to introduce the one and only Alrik Bursell. Wepa, what's going on, bro?
Hey, Al, how's it going? Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, man. No, thanks for coming on, brother, and talking some awesomeness about independent filmmaking, your journey, and this fantastic film that you have out, and that seems to be traveling the circuit right now, which I was glued to the screen watching. So kudos on you, man. Great cast, great everything, brother. I loved it.
Oh, thanks, man. Really appreciate it.
Don't worry, folks. We're going to tease it in a little bit. I got the awesome teaser trailer. But before we get into all that business, first, let's know a little bit about Mr. Alrik. Alrik, look at it. Two good names. Al and then Rick, kick ass like Rick Grimes. Holy shit, bro. I love it. So a little bit about yourself, kiddo. Where you from? Where were you raised, born? What's popping there?
So I'm from Berkeley, California originally, and then moved to San Francisco for school, SF State, and then from there moved back to Oakland. I was in Oakland for like 8 years, and that's sort of where I started making my films. I did 7 short films out of Oakland, and then actually we shot this feature when I was living there too. And then I just recently moved to Vallejo, California, which is, I don't know if you're familiar with the Bay Area, but it's just on the outskirts of San Francisco and Oakland and that whole, the Bay Area. But yeah, so I've been making movies, pretty much since high school, and, just kind of fell in love with it and didn't really realize that was something I could do. And
what gave you the bug though? What was it? What was kind of the first films or anything that kind of got you interested in this type of journey?
I always loved movies. Like, movies were my favorite thing since I can remember. Like, watching Ninja Turtles, when I was 5 was like, changed my life. I was obsessed with that movie. Then, of course, Star Wars, I think was like right after that. And, I just caught it early, and I just became completely like obsessed with everything film and television. But, I grew up in Berkeley, and we didn't have, I didn't know how you could make any of this stuff. Like, like, funnily enough, like Lucasfilms was really close to us, but like, it felt like a completely different world to me. And then in high school, I got my hands on a camera through, a class that I took. And then that was it when I started doing it myself. And I had the chance to actually, tell a story with a video camera. Then I was like, okay, I can do this. Awesome. Let's see how far I can take it,
What type of equipment was that first in your hands?
Like a PD-190, PD-170, like an old school, like Sony digital camera, kind of the era of the DVX-100.
Oh my gosh.
But like back then, and, we just had it from our, the locker of video equipment in school. And that was the first thing I ever shot anything with.
So what was the first thing you did shoot, and why that?
Wow, the very first thing, like back in high school.
Yeah, man, go back to that, man. Those are the roots, man. Those are the roots of Mr. Alrik here, Al B, son.
Oh man, so me and my friend, we made a movie that I starred in, where I was like getting ready for a football game and pumping myself up in the locker room, and we did a dolly shot, like on like a little, it wasn't a skateboard, but it was like a cart that we found, in the hallway of our school or whatever. And then I walk out of the locker room, and I don't go towards the football field. I go towards the front of the school, and then there's a girl in front of a really cool classic muscle car. And then like I ask her out on a date, and that's like the end of this little short. So I wasn't getting pumped up for school, for the game. I was getting pumped up to ask this girl out. That was the whole thing of the very first thing I ever made.
Hey man, a lot of us high school kids struggle with that, especially when we were of the geeky persuasion. That was an adventure in and of itself. Can I talk to her today without doing the homonyms like a Ralph Cramden?
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? So, all right. So, how was your journey getting into the business? Early on. How did you
Yeah.
even attempt to start doing all that?
So I went to school at SF State. I was in the broadcasting department. I didn't do the film program. I did the broadcasting program. And yeah, I took a bunch of internships, and then basically my first like real film set job. I went down. They were shooting a TV show in my town in San Francisco, called Trauma, which was on NBC for 2 seasons. And it was like a big like NBC Universal production, like the whole deal, like everything. So I went down to set, and I just happened to see somebody I recognized from a friend's film that I had worked on years ago. We started chatting. He told me who the key PA was. I went up over to him, introduced myself, asked if they need anybody. They said they do. They took my number. They called me the next day, and I was on the show the week after that.
What?
So
all you did was ask. Wow.
I just asked. I just went out there and introduced myself, and
wow.
And made it happen. I mean, I'd already had an intern at ABC7, but it was like right when like 2008 when the big crash happened, and so they had to fire like a bunch of people, so that I wasn't able to get a job. So it was like kind of in this state of like, what do I do? Like I can't get a job like through the traditional sense. And so, you just hear about things and you just go out, and I put myself out there.
Excellent, man. And how did you put yourself out there though during that, rough time?
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of it was Craigslist,
Craigslist.
Like
wow.
I got another job on a movie through Craigslist. I was like, basically, I don't know if you're familiar with the broadcast world as a student, but like basically when you're trying to get into the industry, especially if you want to be on camera, which was like what I wanted for a long time, you have to basically apply to all these different news outlets in the middle of nowhere, like in Ohio or Alabama or somewhere like completely like a tiny little town. Like you send your little reel tape out, and then like, maybe you get a chance to get a job, and then you have to just move your whole life there for like 6 months to a year until you can move up to a bigger network. So I said, okay, I'm gonna give myself 3 months after I graduate. If I can't get a job here, then I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna just go wherever it takes me. After like right on the 3-month mark, I got a job as assistant director on a feature film. It was super low budget. I think I got paid like $2,000 for like it was a 60-day shoot, which was like, I mean, at the time I was like, I guess this is normal, but that's like a really long shoot for an indie film.
60 days, $2,000.
Man.
Wow, man. And was it the grind, an everyday grind?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
I mean, it was a crew of like between like on the smallest days there was 4 of us. On the biggest days there was maybe 8 of us, and it was a lot of the family of the director and the star. And it was a Bollywood movie too.
Oh damn!
So it was definitely a trip, but it wasn't a singing and dancing Bollywood. It was like a really serious like Southern Indian like drama. It was really a trip of a movie. It was a lot of fun. I got to be in it too, like because we needed lots of extras, so I got to be in it in 3 different times, playing 3 different characters.
Do you like acting in film? Do you like being in front of the camera as opposed to behind it?
For a long time, that was like what I wanted to do, and I did the whole audition thing, and I was like trying to put myself out as an actor. I had headshots, and then I think I eventually realized that that's not my strong suit. Like I don't have that gift that actors have to like really immerse myself in the character and get lost. I bring too much of myself into it, in not a good way, in a bad way. So I feel like, I would probably do it again if I had the opportunity or if like it made sense, but I don't think it's definitely not my goal or where I want to focus my energy on,
Okay. So, and after that, how was those first couple of projects?
Yeah. So, I mean, basically once I got into like the being an intern and a PA and everything, it just took a while until I was able to move up and, go from PAing to like production coordinating, and then eventually, start doing a lot of other stuff. Cause I mean, it's a small market in San Francisco. So like, you can't just do one thing. Like I mean, I might've been able to just be a PA only and just focus on that, but I just always wanted to like, expand. So I would shoot something here, I would edit something here. And then I got a job at a production company here in Berkeley. And I worked there for 4 years. And basically that ended up being like one of my first big jobs, and actually where I met a lot of the people that I ended up working on throughout with all my short films, including the alternates. I met my cinematographer there. I met my gaffer on a movie, but there was all kind of like part of that ecosystem at that production company. Like a lot of those people ended up working with me there. And then, years later, we're still making movies together.
Hey, awesome. And let's talk about this because this is what we're here to talk about today. So let me show off this awesome teaser before we talk about this amazing film, The Alternate. Let's do it.
The other you created this thing, this portal. It was a fluke. We traveled through it to another world. To another version of our house.
You okay?
Where the fuck are we?
This is our house, Angel.
We shouldn't be here. We can't be parents. I've only been there once. But Jake, the other Jake, he kept going back.
How could I do that?
Who are you?
It's no fun if you never win.
Folks, if that did not make you curious as to what the hell is going on, I don't know what will. Because when I saw that, I was like, yo, what is popping here? Then I saw the film, and folks, it's amazing. Great casting, great story, different. Thank you for doing something different and fun. It's crazy. I love it. So
thanks,
get
man.
into that. Get into that. Talk about the film and let people know what it's about. You know,
Okay,
the best
so
you can
I'll-
without too much spoilers.
Yeah, so basically, the alternate's about Jake, a struggling videographer who, just kind of stumbles upon this portal to another dimension, in which he has everything that he's ever wanted, like the perfect version of his wife that treats him the way he wishes his real life treated him, the filmmaking career that he's been like striving for so many years, and then the daughter that he never had. So he basically starts to like travel back and forth between his world and this alternate world and starts to spy on the other version of his family, then starts to like accidentally impersonate his other self, and then starts to fall in love with the other version of his wife and like create a relationship with his daughter. And then he basically decides that like he's the one who deserves this good life, not the other version of himself. So he decides to switch places and take over the good life and send his alternate back to his shitty life.
Bro, let me tell you though, it's funny how they parallel one another, you know? One's miserable, others happy, you know, and that goes for both sides. I mean, when it comes to relationship and as individuals. So did you do that with purposeful intent, if you will, to have them really be total kind of polar opposites of one another?
Yeah, so it was really funny. It's like in the very early versions of the script, it was like so heightened, like Kris was like in the regular world, Kris was just terrible, like just smoking weed all the time, like never going to a job, like fucking shit up, like stealing shit in his office, like just like the most like ridiculous, like worst girlfriend ever, and then in the other world,
let me tell you, she did a great job. I hated her. I was like, oh my God, yo, chill, lady, chill.
But basically what I tried to do is I try to like, keep that essence of, the two different versions, but also try to give them layers so you can like see the perspective of all the characters. So it doesn't feel like they're completely cartoonish, and like you can sort of like relate to each one in some way. You can sort of see how she's fed up with this guy's bullshit. You can sort of see how, he really wants this thing, but he doesn't really know how to get it, like he doesn't know how to go after it and actually make it happen. And then, from the other side with the alternates, like just, seeing this really focused, like determined, disciplined person who's like after his dreams. And then that kind of rubs off on Kris. Like she's also doing her dream and living her dream too. And so it's like sort of kind of, you see that, side of it, and then, but like what I always think about is like, if Jake wasn't such a son of a bitch, like if he went through the portal and saw this world, like he could be like, oh, this is attainable. Let me work on myself and figure out how to get this for myself.
Let me get to that world, because that could have been the future for all we know.
Right, exactly. And so, but then he's like, nah, I'm just gonna take it. I don't want to work.
Was he from New York? Was he from New York? Because he came out so thuggish when in the film, when these things are decided and these actions that he takes, it's really effed up. Yeah, it's you, but is it? You know what I mean? So this is why I love, because you ask these questions like, would you battle yourself like that?
Right.
And this cast did a phenomenal job. So talk about finding this amazing cast to work with.
So I got really lucky. I met Ed first through another actor friend of mine here in the Bay Area. They did some theater shows together. And then we were, planning to do this other short that I had written. And then just due to timing and schedule, it kind of fell apart. And then when I was getting ready to do the teaser trailer for the alternate to raise money through the crowdfunding campaign, I was like, oh yeah, Ed, he would be perfect. So then I called him up. And we were all set to do it. He introduced me to Tantalia. That's how we got her in the movie, was from his recommendation. And then maybe a week before we were going to shoot the teaser trailer, Ed had to pull out due to another, a contractual obligation he had that he had missed. So we were like, oh, well, dang, I can't work with him on the teaser trailer. So I got another actor to come and take his place. This really wonderful actor, Gabe Rios, who's also in the alternate feature. He plays a small role. And then when it was time to do the actual feature, I was like, Ed's the guy. I had worked with him on a couple commercials at that point. We actually ended up shooting that short film together eventually. And so, I was like, Ed, he's it. Because the thing about Ed that's special is his eyes. I mean, I'm sure you noticed in the movie, he's got some crazy, amazing eyes, and he can say so much without having to talk. And that's hard to find in an actor,
Agreed.
To be able to communicate so much with just your facial expression, and your body language. And Ed just has that special ability. And so when we had to cast someone to do the two different roles, I knew that he was the right person for that. And we just had a lot of fun with it. And, he was really collaborative. We spent a lot of time prepping together and kind of crafting the characters together. And I think that was sort of what made it special, was that we'd be able to do that work together, and not just, with a lot of actors, they just show up on the first day and then okay, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Luckily we didn't have to have that situation.
Wonderful. And how long was this shoot?
So we shot, originally it was going to be 15 days, and then we had to extend to 19 days. And we shot right before the pandemic in the winter of 2019, and then we did 2 pickup days in January of 2020, and then we got it in the can, and then 2 months later the world,
everything was in the can.
Yeah, exactly. So it was really good timing that we got it done right when we did, because if we had pushed, one of my investors was like, you should push 6 months. Oh man, I'm so glad I didn't push 6 months. We would never made the movie.
Great, man. And how did you feel, man? Finally having the opportunity to solicit this to some film festivals. And what was the first one you solicited to?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So man, I mean, just for some context, I've been working on this for almost 8 years. It'll be 8 years.
Wow.
In March of next year. So it's been a long journey to get this movie made. This, my first feature film. I've been trying to figure out how to make a feature forever, and to actually have it done and to be able to sit in the audience and have people see it. It was that was incredible. There's no words to describe it. But yeah, the film festival submission thing, that was a long process, because we started a little too early. I was so excited to get the movie out in the world, and I felt I wanted to just hit the ground running with the 2021 festival season. So I started submitting last November, and we started with Sundance just because, why not just throw it out there, see what happens, and then we kind of worked our way through South by Southwest, Tribeca, kind of all the big ones, got our nose, and then, kind of moved down to, focusing more on genre film festivals, and then, also including some other ones, as well. And we ended up premiering at Dances with Films in Los Angeles, this in September. So that was the world premiere of the film, and you got to play at the Chinese theater in Hollywood.
Oh, word! Nice.
Yeah,
How'd you feel, man? How'd you feel, bro?
It was incredible. It was incredible. I was so nervous. It was a midnight screening.
Oh, wow.
But we got a huge group to come out. We had about 100 people in the audience, which
beautiful.
I think was awesome for the pandemic, and for a midnight.
That's for an independent film too. You know what I mean? Like coming out your first, oh, bro, I would have been.
Yeah.
You would have heard nothing but a wet pause in the theater if I was there.
and the reaction, like, luckily it was similar to your reaction to the ending. Like everyone just flipped, man. Like they just and like
oh shit, yeah, folks.
The ending is something that is really special to me because I love it. It's what I wrote first when I wrote the movie. I came up with the ending scene and then I kind of worked my way back to get to.
You are so funny. I was watching a hip hop documentary the other day, and this is this rapper, old school rapper. He goes, when I write my rhymes, I always start with the conclusion, and then I just start and then do the story to lead to that conclusion. But I always start with the ending. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Now you're telling me that.
yeah.
But what really a fucking ending, bro. Jesus Christ. Because I was just there like, oh, man. Oh, everybody. Let me tell you, you're going to have an oh moment, folks, in this film. You're going to love it.
Yeah, I actually got a little pushback on the ending from some of the more like fancy people, like, you know, people who like dramas, people who are from like the Sundance crowd. And like that kind of, they're just like, you know, oh, I loved your movie until the end. But like, I got that comment from like a handful of people. And then my sound designer was really trying to convince me that we didn't need to show the ending. But to me, it's like the ending. That's the juice. That's the moment where it's like it's the payoff, you know.
It is. Well, whoever thought that, you guys are too bougie, bro. You better stop it now. Get out of here. This is film. This is film. This was fun. This is again stuff right up my alley, and I fell in love with it immediately.
That's great.
Well, you did a great job.
You're who I made it for. Then you know it's like because like that's how I feel. You know, with movies, you know, where you see scenes like that and conclusions like that and things that just like kind of blow you away.
Yeah.
You know, just I love it, and to hear the audience react the way that I react.
And this is awesome. You know, within the movie, you have a lot of cool effects. Now, you know, whether they're special effects, old school, traditional special effects. I mean, you tell me, did you use a mix? What? Because I mean, there is that portal, you say, and that was a very well done effect. I loved it. So talk about using effects for the film.
So my cinematographer Jason Josepher was really like when I sent he was a part of this project from the beginning. So like he read like the second draft of the script, and right away he was always like, let's do the portal practically. Like let's actually project it. Like let's not try to just do a green screen and visual effect it. Like let's do as much as we can in camera as possible. And so we figured out a way to project it where you could still light the scene the way we wanted to and have it look dynamic and interesting, but also still get a strong, like full rich portal on the projector. So we used on the screen. So we used two projectors simultaneously. We had one in front that front projected, and then we had a rear projector, and we had to like match them up and line them up so they would be perfect. And then we'd like lock them down, and then we would shoot the scene. And so that's how the portal looks really the way it does and the way that he interacts with it. So like there's only a couple times in the movie where it's a green screen for like kind of the moments where he has to walk through. Like that's when we did the digital version that our visual effects artist was able to match up. But the majority of it is practical. And, there was just a couple times where we removed the rear projector light, from the back, just so, we could kind of keep that illusion up,
But it's well done for us. I can't wait till you see what this guy has done. Again, for an independent film project, his first, you could tell that you had a lot of fun with it. And again, like I said, the cast is amazing. Really well performed, especially Homie and his wifey. They had playing dual roles, if you will. So they have double the workload.
Yeah.
But again, he pulled it off. She pulled it off. Like I said, I hated her in the regular world. But then on the other side, it's like, wow, she's awesome. I mean, what the heck is going on here? But then again, like I said, you could see the things in the relationship, which is key. Like there was, it wasn't a perfect world. The other side, there was something, even though that we see the other dude kind of deal with, but they were dealing with it, but differently, if you will. Like that. You threw that, interpersonal drama in there between them, that couple stuff. But again, with the sci-fi, the story, how assholeish this guy is and greedy.
Exactly.
And goddamn, bro, do you like ketchup or what?
Yeah, I do. So the ketchup thing, that's
hysterical.
That's based off of a real life story from my childhood. Like I was at a restaurant. I love ketchup. That was like my thing. my mom was always telling me to use less ketchup, you know, and so I was putting ketchup all over stuff, and she took it away from me. Like I had a huge tantrum. We had to like leave the restaurant or whatever, and so like that was always like a memory from my childhood that I, you know, stuck with me. And so I was like, okay, I gotta put this.
Yeah, you messed me up, bro. I like a little bit of ketchup, man. But when you saw this little shorty just pull like half the damn bottle on top of it, I'm like, where the hell is the food? Oh, too much, too much. Yeah, us Puerto Ricans love ketchup, but not that much now. Come on.
Oh, that's so
all right.
funny.
But I love it, man. You have great energy, man. So where can we see the film? What's popping? If people wanted to go today and check out this awesome film that we've been talking about, where do they need to go? Where can they see it? What's up?
So it's playing at the Heartland International Film Festival this weekend in Indianapolis. I'm going to be there in Indianapolis this weekend. I'm flying out to watch the movie on Sunday, nice. October 10th. It's also going to be part of their virtual film festival. So I think it's geotagged though. So I don't think you can see it if you don't live in an Indianapolis area. So I'm not sure how far out the geotag goes, but I know it's not like the whole country. So you should check it out, see what's up. You know, maybe you're in the area where you can watch it. Right. It was online on 3 other you know, virtual film festivals, but I think they all ended on September 30th. But it's coming up on a couple others. It's going to be in the Philly, you know, First Glance Film Festival on that's October 16th. I'm going to be there in person for that one too, coming out. Then we're in Kentucky for Scarefest on the weekend after that, on the 24th. And then I can't remember the next one, but then we're going to be in I can't say that one yet. There's a couple I can't say, but we're going to be playing like at least 6 more between now and December. I mean,
all I want to ask is this: I'm in Florida. Are you coming down to the East Coast anytime?
Well, we're going to be playing. We are, but virtually only.
All right, gotcha. All right, he's being very cautious. Like, how do I answer this? All right, no problem.
I can't remember which one said I can't say, and which one said I could.
Understood. No worries, no worries. Listen, for me, what I care about is people knowing where they could watch, where they could, you know, pitch in and see the amazingness of this. Because I know I'm going to see you doing, you know, I'm going to see you on the small screen. I'm going to see you on the big screen in the future. Because once people get a load of this, and they're going to see how talented you are, along with the amazing team you have, you're gonna go far, kid. I see it. Like if you had any dream project, brother, any dream project in the world that you would that if somebody gave you the keys and said, "Here, Alrik, this is yours. Do with it what you want," what would be your top pick?
And like anything, like, you know,
anything, any genre, any film, doesn't matter what it is, anything.
All right, I'm just gonna say, like, you know, I got a couple ideas of things that I would love to do. I'm gonna say one big franchise, and I'm gonna say another like type of movie. So first, Superman. I would love to do a Man of Steel 2 or any kind of Superman movie, or Superman and Batman, but like something with Superman would be amazing. I'm a huge Superman fan, and I think like it's time to do a different type of Superman, you know, like maybe a non-white Superman, perhaps, you know. I think that is about ready.
Well,
you know?
we were hoping to get the Calvin Ellis version, but instead of calling him Calvin Ellis, they want to just call him Black Clark Kent.
Yeah,
you know, that's like just, you know, DC use Calvin Ellis, you know, make us feel like we have our own Superman. You know?
Yeah,
but I get it. I get it. Yeah, let me show you an awesome Superman here that I got from the Puerto Rico Comic Con.
Oh man,
look at this! Look at this!
Oh, amazing! That is dope.
Isn't that dope?
Red Sun.
Yeah, I love Red Sun. Now this is a great version because, you know, he still kept some of the ideals. I don't know if you saw the cartoon, but or read the comic.
Yeah,
he still
I did. I saw the cartoon.
Even though he was Russian, he had those ideals still. He was still a good person.
Yeah, that's a really good story. But yeah, I guess like if I were to do like another type of movie, like I love Total Recall.
Oh,
you know, that's one of my all-time favorites, and I don't think that we really have like a sci-fi action movie at that level or even close to it in the last, I don't know, 15 years.
Many years.
I don't know. I can't even think of the last one.
I think the last one I had fun with was probably the first Pitch Black.
Yeah, that's a good one. Or Fifth Element was another one I was thinking. Yep. Like, that's a really good one. Yeah. But like movies like that like really go deep into science fiction, but then also like bring the action, bring the comedy, just have a lot of fun with it. That's the kind of movie I'd love to make next.
But, you hear it, folks? You hear it, Hollywood?
Maybe that's 3 movies next. I think I got to build up to the $20 million, $30 million feature. I gotta get there slowly.
Well, you're gonna get there. I know it and I see it. You got to visualize it. Speak it onto the world, Alrik, and the world is yours. You know, it's gonna be yours.
Absolutely.
Just speak it out.
Thank
Speak
you.
it. You already spoke it. So DC, you heard. All right. Somebody right here is gonna fix that Superman franchise for you.
But just to go back to the movie, if you want to find anything about The Alternate or follow us, you can find us on Facebook at The Alternate Film. Instagram, Alternate Film 1. And we also are on Instagram. I'm tagging there too. I'm trying to hit them all, you know.
Yeah, you should own all your social media, bro. Let them all know. And then you got the website too.
Yeah.
And before you go, there's the one last thing I want you to mention is like, you told me you do a podcast. Making movies is hard podcast. Ain't that the truth? Let people know if they want to learn about the show, when can they tune in, and a little bit about what it's about.
So we drop new episodes every Monday at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, you know, so that's 10 a.m. for you out in the East Coast.
Yep.
It's a podcast about the struggle of being an independent filmmaker. I do it with my co-host Liz Manischel. She's also a filmmaker, working on a horror short right now, actually. Ooh. But she's done 2 features, and so she's kind of like someone I look up to, you know, like a mentor almost, of like someone who's kind of been there and back again a couple times and like, had some real success with her features. We interview filmmakers from all backgrounds, also crew people too, kind of anyone, within the filmmaking world. And we really just talk about the struggles of doing their jobs or making their films. And it's really just like a chance to kind of learn more about how people are making movies and like how we can make our movies. And I kind of use it as a way to like, troubleshoot things I'm going with. So if I go like troubles I'm dealing with my own movie. So if I'm having like, how do I find distribution? I ask a bunch of distribution questions. Like, how do I get into film festivals? I ask a bunch of film festival questions. So if you listen to the podcast, we have 330 episodes out.
Ooh, wow, 330! Congrats,
yeah,
great.
331 actually just dropped on Monday. So yeah, we're up there now.
That's beautiful.
But we did a whole series about The Alternate where I did logs, daily logs from the set. So I would before on my way over to the location, I would do a little audio recording in my car, and then we turn that into podcast episodes. So I think there's 6 of them, and it's wonderful. Just you can hear me like preparing for the day or talking about what happened that day and like digesting the problems I was dealing with, the way that we overcame them on set, like how the shoot went, if we went over, like how we dealt with that, if we had to go into overtime. So like if you should find those episodes. I can't remember the numbers, but there's a bunch of them. So if you really want to hear the behind the scenes making of The Alternate, it already exists on the podcast. Ooh.
Are we ever going to get a BTS film now?
I actually made a bunch of little behind the scenes little docs for the crowdfunding campaign. So there are a couple of them out already, but yeah, I don't know if we'll get a full BTS film.
Gotcha. Well, there you go, folks. This has been awesome. Alrik, you've been amazing, bro. Thank you for, hanging out, chit-chatting about the journey, about process, your amazing film, your awesome team. Folks, again, he said it already right there on Twitter, Alternate Film 1, Instagram and Facebook at The Alternate Film. Please keep up with everything Alrik does at his website, alrikbursell.com. And tune in to that podcast you heard. Drops every Monday, right? Making movies is hard podcast. Ain't that the truth, bro? Ain't that the truth? So with that, thank you again, my brother. I appreciate the time, folks. The outro tells you what to do. You know what it is. With the exception of, please visit our comic book shop at comiccrusaders.shop and our swag shop at comiccrusaders.us. Thank you again, Alrik. And with that, hasta la próxima, mi gente. Wepa! Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.com and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also, make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.